Hi guys, welcome to my video. My name is Brittany and this is my channel. So I am a tarot reader, astrologer, spiritual woo-woo gal. This is a new YouTube channel, so I'm definitely getting myself into the swing of things, and hopefully I'll be putting out different kinds of content as well. So if you are interested in seeing more tarot videos and just videos about spirituality in general, click like, share, subscribe, or comment, all of the above. That will mean the absolute world to me because this is a new channel. So I'll cut right to the chase. In this video, we're going to be discussing what you can expect next in love. Now, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you watch this video, it can apply to you. And I don't really have a designated time period for whenever you can expect these things. It's going to be different for everyone because this is a general reading. Now, I have 3 different piles for you today: pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. You can pause the video and take as much time as you need to figure out what crystal is calling out to you. So just meditate, take a deep breath, ask yourself what message you need to hear, what can you expect, what pile is going to stand out to you. And once you come to that decision, I will have the timestamps in the description so you can skip ahead. Like I said before, pause the video if you need to. I'm going to be moving on to pile 1 now. Hey guys, this is for those who chose pile 1. Welcome to your reading. You guys chose the aragonite crystal. I love it. It's so pretty, but I'm going to set it off to the side, like so right here. So in today's reading, we're going to be talking about what you can expect next in love. I have the tarot cards and I have other oracle cards that we can shuffle as well. So yeah, let's cut straight to it. Let's see what you can expect next in love. Pile 1. Pile 1. What can pile 1 expect next in love? Pile 1. What can pile 1 expect next in love? What can pile 1 expect next in love? We have, we have the 4 of Wands. Oops, did not mean to do that. Okay, what else? What can pile 1 expect next in love? We have that one flipped over, so I'll take it. We have the 9 of Cups. Pile 1, what can pile 1 expect next in love? Too many cards came out at once here, so I'm not going to take those. Sorry, guys. Pile 1, what can pile 1 expect next in love? We have the 2 of Swords in the reverse, the 3 of Pentacles, the 6 of Wands in the reverse, the King of Wands, and on the back of the deck we have the Wheel of Fortune. Let me place that right here. Okay. Make sure I'm actually making enough room for myself here, because I noticed in my last video I felt like I didn't have enough space, so okay. Now, for the Whispers of Love Oracle deck, and all of the decks that I use today will be in the description below. So, pile 1, what can pile 1 expect next in love? What can pile 1 expect next in love? What can pile 1 expect next in love? Okay, I will take the card that actually flipped over, which is Demonstrate Love, find out what is important to those you love, and act on it. Let me fix these real quick. And on the back of this deck, you got I love you. These are powerful words. Okay. For the Moonology deck, pile 1. What can pile 1 expect next in love? Oops. We got you and your loved ones are safe. Pile 1. What can pile 1 expect next in love? Okay, we got 2 cards that came out for that one, which are empathy. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. And failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Let's see. Situate these a little bit. And for the last pile, which are the advice cards, pile 1, what can pile 1 expect next in love? Whoops. We got stay focused. And these cards have little messages on the back. So yeah, I will put this right here. And now let's get into the reading after I move everything over to make some room. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm almost done. Okay. I think that should be good. Okay. So, when it comes to zodiac signs, or astrology signs, there we go. We have fire represented, water, air, earth. We honestly have everything represented, especially with this Wheel of Fortune here, which demonstrates all of the signs. So you could be any sign. This is going to be super open to anyone. In regards to numerology, we have the numbers 48 and 20. And 48 breaks down into 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3. And 20 breaks down into 2. So those numbers could be significant for you. But yeah, I feel like pile 1 is going to apply to a lot of people just because of the number of signs that are represented here. So that's really cool. But we'll start off with the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands here is a huge celebration card, as you can see with the imagery. It talks about celebration. It's the 1111 card. It talks about manifestations coming into fruition. It's talking about, it can be a twin flame card or a soulmate card, if however you resonate with that. But I think that in the next few months, or in the next period of time, you are going to end up meeting a soulmate. You're going to end up meeting a twin flame, possibly, if that resonates with you. Now remember, twin flames are very rare, and I am going to speak out about how watered down the concept is, because I've noticed it with the spirituality this day and age. But they do exist, and if it's something that highly resonates with you, then good. Then that's awesome. But I'm definitely, on this channel, I'm definitely not going to throw around the term twin flame just because of how watered down it is. But with the Four of Wands, it can represent a twin flame. It can represent a soulmate. So I do feel like in the next few months, you are going to meet a soulmate. Or in your next love situation, you are going to meet a soulmate or a twin flame if that resonates with you. And it's going to feel like a wish come true with the Nine of Cups here. The Nine of Cups is a wish fulfillment card. It talks about it talks about the work that you've put in, the work that you have done on the inside, and so it talks about the work that you've put in on the inside. Before the Nine of Cups is the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups represents a spiritual journey. It talks about kind of taking a journey of solitude to reflect inward. But with the Nine of Cups, it represents the work that has been done and the work that still can be done to get to the Ten of Cups. But it represents a wish fulfillment. So when you meet this person, they might feel like a dream come true to you. They might feel like everything you've ever asked for. And fortunately, you're going to be in a position where you're able to accept them. I do think that in the past, you may have been very closed off to any sort of connection. You could have been a little bit off put by the thought of a relationship, or you may have gotten hurt in the past and have closed yourself off. But with this Two of Swords here, which can represent closing yourself off, it's in the reverse. So I do feel like you are going to open yourself up to this person, and that you guys are going to be able to connect a lot more, and that you're gonna have an easy time connecting with this person. I'm seeing a lot of positive cards here, and I think that is definitely a good sign here. With the Three of Pentacles, or the Three of Discs as it's termed on this deck, I feel like you might meet this person at work or in some sort of professional setting, because the Three of Pentacles can talk about collaboration. It can talk about collaborating professionally, working with people to get a mutual goal achieved. So I do feel like you might meet this person when you're collaborating with others. Now, there is a lot of indication of maybe work or school or just some sort of professional setting, but it could easily be that maybe you meet this person while going after your goals, like if they're creative goals, or you might meet this person through someone else. Maybe for some reason I'm hearing music, like if you're into music, you could be meeting this person through some sort of professional connection or something. But there's a sense of professionality. Is that a word? Professionalism? Yeah. There's a sense of that, and it does seem like you're going to meet this person through some sort of professional endeavor. But it's going to be a really good experience for you, because you seem to be opening yourself up to this person, and this person is going to feel like everything you've been looking for, and you might think to yourself that this is too good to be true. Now, with the Six of Wands in the reverse here, I do feel like how do I word this? I do feel like you could think, it's kind of an emphasis on me, or to me at least, that you might think it's too good to be true. So you might be a little bit skeptical. That's what I'm intuitively seeing from this card. Also, with all the material things in this nest here, this person could be a gift giver, like that might be their love language. So you might honestly think to yourself when you meet this person, this might be a little bit too good to be true. This might be a little I don't know about this, You might be very skeptical when you meet this person, and you might be keeping a very watchful eye, because you don't know whether or not you can trust them. But I do feel like you can. It's just because you're feeling insecure from previous experiences of your past. And with this King of Wands here, I think the King of Wands highly represents the type of person they are and who they're going to be. So they could have some fire in their chart. So that could be Sun, Moon, Rising, or even Venus, honestly, which is Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. They could have one of those placements in their charts, but they don't have to necessarily, because we do have the Wheel of Fortune. But with the King of Wands here, I do get the impression that this person seems to be a very passionate and confident person. I'm kind of hearing extroverted, if that resonates. You may have already met this person as well. This is a timeless reading, so it's going to apply to different timelines in different people's lives. So if you've already met this person, this could resonate now. But this person could be very passionate. They could be kind of talkative or extroverted. They could talk big. I'm also hearing that. but they don't mean anything bad by it. It's just more, they get more excited whenever they talk. Like they have a huge passion and fire to them that you may not have experienced elsewhere. And there's going to be a lot of confidence. There's going to be a lot of passion towards you and the energy that you're giving. So you might, and again, you might be a little bit off put by this because you're not used to this. You're not used to someone maybe being this excited about you, but you should, everyone deserves that. With the Wheel of Fortune on the back of the deck, which I kind of take as the theme of the reading, I think that indicates that you are going to be entering into a more positive cycle in your life, or you will be entering into a new positive cycle in your life. But whether you meet this person and it goes into a more positive cycle, or you might be in a new positive cycle whenever you meet this person, but there's a sense of you're going into a better cycle. And I find it kind of interesting how the Six of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune have representations of birds. They kind of look like hawks, although that one sort of looks like an eagle. So birds can be significant to you guys. They might be sort of like spirit guides, or if you are looking for a sign from the universe, it could be that once you start seeing a bunch of hawks or these kind of birds flying around, like the big birds like that, it might be a sign that the person is coming closer if you haven't met them yet, or it could be a confirmation from the universe that yes, this is your person. So definitely look out for those, or even feathers. I'm also hearing feathers, or there's also a snake here as well. So yeah, I'm definitely seeing like birds. Like if you like have some weird sort of experience with like a big bird flying over you or something like that, or a hawk or a feather or whatever, take that as a sign from the universe. Anyway, with the two love cards here, you got demonstrate love, find out what is important to those you love, and act on it. So I do think that upon meeting this person, you're going to know what it is that you want. And because of that, because you're putting out the energy of, I know what I want, I'm not going to settle for anything less, you are going to attract that energy to you. And I think that's also emphasized with the failure card and the stay focused card, but I'll get to those in a little bit. But with the demonstrate love card, I do feel like since you know what it is that you want, you're not going to settle for anything less. And it could also be an indication that this person is going to demonstrate a lot of love to you with the King of Wands and the Six of Wands. So you, like I said before, you might be receiving a lot of gifts. You might be, honestly, like you might be spending out a lot of time out in nature. So you guys might do a lot of hiking sort of adventures. Like you might take a lot of hikes. You might spend a lot of time out in nature. This person could love nature. I'm kind of seeing that. Like they could heavily love being in nature. Like that could be very peaceful to them. And they are going to value what it is that's important to you, and you're going to value what's important to them. I think by the time you meet them, you are going to be very open to this. I don't think there's going to be any sort of reluctance other than the initial skepticism. I think you're going to be very open because you're going to be at a point in your life that you're ready for this person. You know what I'm saying? And with the I love you card, these are powerful words. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of love in this connection on both sides. I think once you meet, there's going to be a sort of chemistry, a connection that you are, that you're, this is your person, you know? But I do feel like this connection could go very quickly with the Wands cards here as well. But yeah, I do feel like you guys could go kind of fast. You could say I love you fast. Be a little cautious of that. Like don't get too ahead of yourself is what I'm trying to say. It's okay if you feel that way quickly, but don't get too caught up in the moment. But I think you guys are really going to fall for each other very quickly, and I think you guys might show each other that you love each other very early on. And there's going to be this sort of knowing of, this is my person, you know. I honestly see really good things for this connection. Now, with the you and your loved ones are safe, new moon in Cancer, I think that's just a confirmation that this is okay. Like, this relationship is okay. You have nothing to worry about. This anxiety and this worry that you might be experiencing in regards to love, you have nothing to worry about. Like, this is meant to happen. This is meant to be. So do not worry about it. This is just a confirmation from the universe that you don't have anything to worry about, that this person is not going to give you anything to worry about. With the empathy and failure card, empathy says, I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. I do feel like this person could be very empathetic, or you both could be very empathetic to each other's needs. I kind of feel like you guys might be able to experience each other's emotions. Like, some people have that sort of connection where they can just know how the other person feels without words even being expressed. But I do think that there's going to be a lot of empathy in this situation. And that empathy is going to be caused by your previous failures, which is the other card, failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So there is more emphasis on that in the past. One or both of you could have made some sort of mistake. You could have had some failed relationships. You could have had some experiences where that just didn't come into fruition, and that may have closed you off briefly, but you're kind of learning from those mistakes. And I feel like both of you are going to be in the same point of your life. So oftentimes in relationships, you might connect with someone, but you're just not at the same point, which is why some relationships fail. I feel like both of you are going to be in the same point of your life. So because of that, you'll be able to connect a lot more, and you'll be able to really see each other's point of view. And I do feel like both of you could have gone through the same sort of cycles and the same sort of mistakes, which is why I think this could easily be a twin flame for some of you, but if not, definitely a soulmate. And I think you're going to really take those mistakes of the past and the mistakes that have maybe burdened you for a long time, and you're going to apply those lessons to your current relationship and make it worthwhile. And you're going to be able to understand each other because of those mistakes. You guys seem to have gone through the same things, I'm hearing. Like, you might be kind of surprised at how similar your lives have been. Maybe not in all aspects, like maybe you didn't grow up the same ways, for example, but the lessons you've had to go through, the sorts of small experiences you've had to deal with, you might be kind of surprised at the similarities that you guys may have experienced in the lessons and the things that you've had to go through in your life. So I think that's really interesting, but I do feel like this is going to be a very healthy connection. It's going to be very communicative, and there's going to be a lot of positivity surrounding this connection. And I feel like this person, whoever they are, is going to be very, very obsessed with you, but not like a bad obsession, but just more of they're excited about you. And I feel like you're going to be excited about them once you overcome this skepticism and this is too good to be true sort of feeling. So let's move on to the advice card. And the advice card that you got is stay focused. Be clear about your purpose. What have you set out to achieve? Keep the end goal in your sights and remain focused to assure your success. So I think that's sort of, and I mentioned this earlier about you knowing what it is that you want with the demonstrate love card, you knowing what it is that you want and not settling for less. So I think the advice that Spirit is giving you is to keep that is to keep that mentality in mind. Like, don't settle for anything less. Because I feel like in the past, you may have settled for less than you deserved. That's an insurance, I'm pretty sure. I always say that. But I think in the past, you may have settled for people who were less than you deserved, and they just were not good for your development. You could have had a lot of karmic partners in the past, and you may have seen the red flags from miles away, but you were like, oh, well, they could change, which if you've gone through many sorts of experiences like that, you will understand that some people just do not change. People can change, but some people just don't. And it's not your job to ensure that they change. But anyway, what I think Spirit is really saying, though, to have that vision in mind. Whoever you want to manifest into your life, whatever type of connection you want in your life, Spirit is saying to be clear about what it is that you want. Don't settle for less. Don't settle for a connection that's not going to be worthwhile to you. Only settle for a person if they absolutely deserve it. Get to know them. Don't let them into your life unless you know that they are good for you. Don't start some sort of connection with them when your intuition is like, no, 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 no. You know what I'm saying? If they have red flags for miles away, just don't try instigating anything. Like, keep a vision of the type of person you want in your life, and that person will come to you. But I think you're already going to be doing that by the time you meet this person, because with all these cards here, I do think that you're going to really open up and you're going to know what it is that you want, and that's going to allow you to feel more confident about the person that has come into your life. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you resonated with this video, if you like it, click like, share, subscribe, comment, all of the above. That will mean the absolute world to me. Follow me on my social media accounts down in the description. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye. Hey guys, this is for those who chose pile 2. Welcome to your reading. You guys chose this really pretty amethyst crystal. I love it. It's so pretty. So I will put it up here. But anyway, in this reading, we will be discussing what you can expect in love in the next few months or the next designated amount of time. So I have the tarot cards here. I have some oracle cards to shuffle. I'm really curious to see what your pile is going to expect because I have no idea. So let's see. Okay. Pile 2. Pile 2. What can pile 2 expect next in love? Pile 2. What can pile 2 expect next in love? 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 Got 2 cards that came out. The first one is the 7 of Swords in the reverse, the 4 of Cups, pile 2. That is too many cards at once. Sorry, guys. That happened in the last pile, too. Okay, so the Chariot. Pile 2. What can pile 2 expect next in love? We have the 8 of Cups in the reverse, the 4 of Swords in the reverse. So 4 could be a significant number. Okay. We also have Temperance in the reverse as well. And if you see this little bite mark right here, I actually have a pretty funny story for that. So I was shuffling this deck maybe a week after I first got it, and my cat Aries was sleeping on my chest, and I guess he got annoyed with me shuffling, so he bit the card, and I didn't know which card he had bit at first until I flipped it over, and it was Temperance, and I was like, huh, kind of ironic. But that was a story that meant nothing to this reading. I just thought it was kind of funny. But anyway, so, and the card you got on the back of the deck is the Eight of Wands. So let me move these around a little bit, make sure I have enough room. Oops, sorry guys. Okay. So, okay. The Whispers of Love Oracle deck, pile 2. And all the decks I use today will be in the description. So pile 2, what can pile 2 expect next in love? What can pile 2 expect next in love? What can pile 2 expect next in love? We have choose love. You always have choice. You always have choice. Make yours with love. And physical touch. A tender touch can mean so much. Okay. Let's see. Moonology deck, pile 2. What can pile 2 expect next in love? What can pile 2 expect next in love? You got adjustments are required, third quarter moon. Pile 2. What can pile 2 expect next in love? What can pile 2 expect next in love? Pile 2, what can pile 2 expect next in love? What can pile 2 expect next in love? We have trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. And love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Okay? Now for the last pile, or the last deck I mean, the advice card, pile 2, love advice. What advice does pile 2 need to hear for love? What advice does pile 2 need to hear for love? What advice does pile 2 need to hear for love? What advice does pile 2 need to hear for love? Okay, we got reflection, and these cards have little messages on the back, so I will get to those. Or I will get to that in a little bit. Okay, so in regards to zodiac signs, astrology signs, we have air emphasized, water, yeah, a lot of water, air, and we also have fire, so, but there's definitely an emphasis on water and air. We also have Cancer, and we have Sagittarius represented. So the air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Those are the signs that are more represented, but there's definitely an emphasis on Cancer and Sagittarius. Now, I did say this earlier. Oh, there's also... Okay, so I did say this earlier, but 4 could be a significant number just because you got the 4 of Cups and the 4 of Swords in the reverse. But now that I'm looking at it, 8 could also be a significant number because you got the 8 of Cups in the reverse and the 8 of Wands. So I feel like that's really interesting. But other significant numbers for you could be 21 and 47. 21 breaks down into 3, 47 breaks down into 7, 8, 9. Wait, 7, 11, 2. Did I do that right? Yes. Yeah, 2. So, I'm great at math, guys. But anyway, so those numbers could be significant for you, and those signs could be significant for you. Those signs could be the person that you're dealing with, but they could be the overall themes of the reading. But I do feel like there's an emphasis on Cancer and Sagittarius, so that could be Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Okay, so I will start off with the Seven of Swords in the reverse. Now, the Seven of Swords here kind of stands out to me just because it can talk about deception, and it can talk about betrayal and kind of getting stabbed in the back, you know. This, I'll put it in the upright for now, but so as you can see with this imagery, this person has a bunch of swords behind their back, and they kind of look like they have their fingers crossed, like, hope they never find out, you know what I'm saying? So, and I also see the fox imagery here, and to me, that is sort of like a sneaky energy. I'm kind of seeing that as you might be dealing with someone who is a little bit sneaky, who's a little bit, what's the word? Who's not very honest, I should say. And I feel like you might already be dealing with this person. You could be dealing with this person. I think it's going to resonate differently for everybody, but I do feel like you might be dealing with someone who's maybe not the most honest. And this is going to make you think a little bit. With the Four of Cups right here, as you can see, this person is looking at this cup that's tipped over and there's a rose underneath it, but he's not paying attention to the other cups that are filled around him. And I kind of get the impression that maybe you're stuck on a person in the next few months, or in the next allotted amount of time, or in just your next general love situation. I feel like you might be a little bit stuck on a person. And I think the energy that I'm getting from this is that this could be an ex of some sort. This is going to resonate differently. This is a general reading, so just keep that in mind. But this person could be an ex that betrayed you, or it could be the new person coming into your life. There are going to be two different groups for this pile. I feel like this is either a past person or this is going to be a future person. That's what I'm hearing. But either way, there was some sort of deception. There was betrayal. This person could have went behind your back. They could have cheated. They could have really just stabbed you in the back, and it put you in this energy of only seeing them. Like you might be feeling a little bit insecure depending on when you're watching this, but after this betrayal you might be feeling a little bit insecure. You might be continuing to look at this person like they're your only option, but the universe is in the background here like, hey, no, pay attention. You have other options. You have other people. You have other fish in the sea. Like, this is not the only person that is meant for you. Like, there's someone else that's going to be better for you. There is someone else that you're going to fit better with. And you might have a hard time accepting that because you're caught up on this rose. You're caught up on this person that you shouldn't be giving any mind to. But I think eventually you are going to come to that realization, and that's going to allow you to move forward, and that's going to allow you to fully understand, like, okay, I'm keeping myself stuck on this person. I am keeping myself in this situation when I should be moving forward and getting myself out of this. Like, I have options. I have different directions that I can go in. Like, I don't have to obsess over this person. I don't have to get caught up in this person. I can move on. So, and I feel like you will be able to move on. Like, I feel like you are going to be able to push forward and get yourself out of this mentality. And I think that's going to land you into a sort of spiritual journey. So I think you might spend a little bit of time with yourself after this occurrence. I do feel like you are going to really take the time to self-reflect and learn what it is that you want. And that's also indicated with the Four of Swords right here. I think you're honestly going to take this time to self-reflect and be like, okay, I know what I want. I know what I deserve. I know what energy I want in my life. Or you might be beginning to learn what it is that you want. And there's kind of a similar theme with pile 1 as well. So if it resonates with you to watch that pile, then definitely go for it. But if not, then that's cool too. But I do feel like you're going to allow yourself to move forward and take this journey towards reflecting on the situation and what it is that you want. And that's heavily indicated with this Four of Swords. But I do feel like I don't think this is going to be a stressful situation for you. I feel like this is going to be a very meditative sort of opportunity for you. You're going to feel very at peace with your circumstances, and that's going to really allow you to understand what you want. Now, with the Temperance card in the reverse here, that could represent a person coming into your life, I feel like. But how do I put this? I don't know if this is, like, intuitively, I don't know if it's something you're ready for, or I don't know if this person is everything that you're looking for right now. I think this is going to be another sort of lesson for you, where actually, you know what? Let me pull a Moonology card as a clarification for the Temperance card, because I'm kind of curious about that. So, clarification for Temperance in reverse. Clarification for Temperance in reverse. Clarification for Temperance in the reverse. The end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. I'll just put this right here for now. So, sorry, I thought I just heard some loud clash, but I guess it's just the wind. But anyway, I do feel like, okay, so I think I sort of understand. With this end of a tough cycle card, full moon in Capricorn, I do feel like you are, with this Temperance in the reverse card here, you're going to be getting out of this cycle. Okay, I understand what's going on now. I think you are going, since you're taking the time for self-reflection and you're taking the time to really contemplate on what it is that you want and who you are going to enter into a period where you feel ready to date. So, and that's indicated with the end of a tough cycle approaches. So after this deception, after this contemplation, after getting over whatever sort of connection this was. And it's going to be different with everyone. It could be an ex, it could be a situationship, it could be something like some sort of karmic partner. You're going to be able to move forward and take the time to contemplate and meditate and take that spiritual journey to learn learn who you are and learn what it is that you need to learn the lessons that you have to get from this. Karmic partners are meant to teach us lessons. They're not meant to be in our lives forever. They're meant to teach us lessons so we can apply those lessons into something better. But I do feel like after taking the time to contemplate and after taking this journey of self-reflection and making the efforts to do that, you're going to start entering into a time of maybe being ready to date and putting yourself out there. With the Temperance card in the reverse, I do feel like it's going to be a more quick-paced sort of thing. With the Temperance in the upright, it's kind of more slow and steady. But in the reverse, I do feel like you're going to maybe decide you want to start putting yourself out there again, and you're going to feel ready to do that. I feel like it's kind of interesting that you got Temperance in the reverse and the Chariot together. So that's interesting. With the Eight of Wands, though, I take it as you're going to use a lot of the knowledge that you have learned in this time of self-reflection to apply it to your future relationships. And oh my gosh, I forgot you even got this card, but reflection, the advice card, reflection. So, but I'll read that a little bit later. But yeah, so that's actually really interesting. But anyway, I feel like you're going to take a lot of what you have learned from this and apply it to your future and make it so you're actually ready to date again and find a sort of connection. So I feel like in the next few months or in the next allotted amount of time, the next love experience or whatever, it's going to be a lot of learning about yourself, finding that inner love, which I know is probably not what you were wanting to hear coming to this reading, but it's a good thing to do. I went through a period of that as well, and it's necessary. It's really necessary. But anyway, I will, where can I put this card? I'll put it right here. But anyway, with moving on to the other cards, though, you have the card Choose Love. You always have choice. Make yours with love. And I'm hearing that you're going to choose yourself in your next love situation. Like, I don't know if you've watched that 70s show, but there's that line there's that episode where Jackie is choosing between Kelso and Hyde, and by the end of the episode, she's like, me, I choose me. I think that's honestly going to be you. Not saying you're necessarily going to choose between two people. You might. You never know. You might. But I think that you are just going to decide that you want to choose yourself. And with all of this imagery in the card of this party, this fun, people having a good time, I think you're heavily just going to focus on yourself, and you're going to decide that you want to put the energy back on yourself and that you want to really work on yourself. With the Physical Touch card, this could be, if you're 18 or over, just saying, putting that out there, this could be an indication that maybe you're going to have a little bit of fun, if you know what I'm saying. Trying to keep it a little PG up in here, but that it could be an indication that you might decide to have a little bit of fun while you're doing your self-reflection. Like, you might not be wanting to get into anything serious, if you know, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But it could also be that if you're not really into that kind of stuff, though, it could also be that you are really just, it also could just mean self-care, like doing the things that are necessary to care for yourself. And that's going to resonate differently with everyone. But making it so your presence is enough in your life, and making it so you are like really just choosing yourself, and you're valuing yourself. You're really just, you're starting to take care of yourself, take care of your mind. And with the Four of Swords in the reverse and the Eight of Cups in the reverse, like spiritual journey, a lot of self-reflection and learning. I think you're really just going to prioritize yourself. And I think after you get out of this cycle right here, or this little situation right here, you're going to come to the realization that adjustments are required, third quarter moon. So I think you're going to finally understand that maybe the mindset that you had before isn't a very healthy mindset when it comes to love and relationships. So you might decide for yourself, hey, I think it's a good time to really work on myself. And it's a good time to really do my shadow work. And also, like, I kind of like how it kind of looks a little spooky up in here. Like, so shadow work. I really think you're going to decide, like, hey, it's time for me to do some shadow work. It's a good time for me to really put that energy back on myself, work on my life before I accept anyone else into it, just so I can be at the energetic level that I want to be, so I can attract what I want to attract. So I think you are really going to put emphasis on putting the energy back on yourself, and working on the energy that you want to receive as well. With the Trust and the Love cards here, Trust says, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. I think what you're going to learn is your intuition. I think you're going to learn how to trust your intuition during this time. I feel like you may have seen some red flags about this person in the past, but you were like, I'm fine, I'll be okay, which we've all experienced that before. And a lot of the time our intuition is right, you know what I mean? So, sorry, I thought I heard another weird noise. But anyway, our intuition is usually right, and I think you're going to learn that. I think you're going to start being able to trust your intuition and be like, I need to trust myself a little bit more. I had some bad feelings about this person. I need to really apply that for the people that I allow into my life. I need to really just allow myself to rely on myself, because I can always rely on myself, So I feel like you're really going to learn that lesson. With the Love card, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. I think that just indicates here, one, I feel like it indicates self-love, and that you're going to find a massive love for yourself during this time. But I think it also indicates that even though this situation may not look good, and when we're going through those situations, they're usually awful to deal with. But I think that you're going to look back in the future and realize that that was all meant to happen for a reason. That this person, even though they may not have been the best person, even though it may not have been the best situation, but that person was put into your life to teach you a lesson. And I think you're going to start seeing it in a more positive light, or not necessarily positive, but more neutral. You're going to start seeing it more in a neutral way, opposed to maybe negative before. Like, you're going to kind of have that understanding of, this happened for a reason. I was meant to learn this lesson. This lesson is learned, and I'm going to apply that wisdom. I'm going to apply the lessons that I have learned and the lessons I have reflected on, and I'm going to really apply that to my future love situations and for the next person that comes into my life. So I think you're going to gain more of an understanding of why things happened the way that they did. Now, with the advice card here, you got reflection. Reflect on what you have accomplished to date. Remember what you were like 5 years ago. Looking back, you'll realize just how far you've come. Acknowledge that every single one of your experiences has helped you to get where you are and served you in some way. Again, I literally just said that. So I think you're really going to take the time to look back and be like, okay, even though this experience really sucked, I'm going to learn from it and it's going to help me in the future. I think you're going to gain a lot of wisdom and understanding as to why things occurred the way that they did. And even though, like I said before, even though it sucks, you're going to be like, okay, I understand. So for your next love situation, I feel like it's going to have more to do with self-love and maybe some dating, maybe some fun, if you know what I'm saying. Like I said before, keeping it PG. But I feel like it's also going to have a lot to do with reflection and shadow work and learning about yourself and learning what it is that you want out of a relationship. So even though it might not be the most fun, you're really going to take the time to value yourself and put yourself first. Because I feel like you may have put other people first in the past, but now you're like, no, this is my life. I'm putting myself first because I'm number one in my life. So yeah, that's all I'm seeing for you right now. It may not have been what you have wanted to hear, but I think it's definitely super important to know. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you resonated with this video, or you like this video, click like, share, subscribe, comment, all of the above. That will mean the absolute world to me. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye. Hey guys, this is for those who chose pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose this spirit quartz. I really like it because it kind of looks like a pile of dog poo, but you know, maybe that's just me. But anyway, I'll put this over here. In today's reading, we're going to be talking about what you can expect next in love. I'm really curious to see what we can pull for you guys. The other 2 piles have been pretty different, so I am super curious. I have the tarot cards right here that I'm going to shuffle, and I also have oracle cards as well. So let's see what you can expect next in love. Pile 3. Oops, okay. You got the first card that came out, the 8 of Pentacles, or in this pile, this deck, it's the 8 of Discs. Pile 3. What can pile 3 expect next in love? What can pile 3 expect next in love? What can pile... Oh, that is way too many cards, guys. I am so sorry. Okay. Too many cards. Okay. Pile 3. What can pile 3 expect next in love? What can pile 3 expect next in love? Okay. You got the 10 of Swords in the reverse. Okay, you have the Ace of Wands. What can pile 3 expect next in love? What can pile... You got the 4 of Pentacles. Pile 3. What can pile 3 expect next in love? You got the Devil in the reverse and the World in the reverse. And on the back of the deck, you got the 4 of Swords. So, put that over here. Okay. Now I'm going to shuffle the oracle cards and see what else you can get. So, all of the cards will be linked in the description. So, if you find a deck that you are drawn to, then you'll know where to look. Okay. So, pile 3. What can pile 3 expect next in love? Pile 3. What can pile 3 expect next in love? You got the heart of the matter. There's more going on than meets the eye. And you got be willing to express love to receive love. For the Moonology deck, pile 3. What can pile 3 expect next in love? What can pile 3 expect next in love? What can pile 3 expect next in love? You're very close to achieving your goal. Give us moon. Pile 3. What can pile 3 expect next in love? 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 You got service. I feel good when I can help others. And surrender. I can release my need to control. And for the last deck, which is the advice one, pile 3. What advice does pile need to hear in regards to love? What advice does pile 3 need to hear in regards to love? Pile 3, advice for love. You got bewilderment. And these have messages on the back as well, but I will get to that a little bit later. So, let's see. Everything's in the frame. Okay. So, in regards to zodiac signs, astrology signs, we have Earth represented, air, fire, more earth, Capricorn, and air. So there is an emphasis on Capricorn with the devil here, but we have the earth signs represented. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, air signs, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, and the fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. My cat just looked at me when I said that. His name is Aries. But yeah, those are the signs that are represented. So the person, you or the person could be one of those signs. That'd be Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. If not, then don't worry about it. Those can easily just be the energies of the reading. Numerology-wise, it seems like you have 22 and 6. That could be significant numbers. And you also have 4 represented as well, with the 4 of Pentacles and the 4 of Swords. And 22 breaks down into 4. So 4 could definitely be a very significant number for you. And 6 just breaks down to itself. So 4, 6, 22, 4, 6, and 22 could be significant numbers for you when it comes to love. So I will get started. So with this 8 of Pentacles, right at the beginning of the reading, it looks like you have been putting in a lot of work. And with the 10 of Swords in the reverse right next to it, I feel like, in a sense, you may have been working on your mental health. Now, this is a timeless reading, so it could apply to you now, it could apply to you in the future. It's going to be different for everyone. But I do feel like you have been working on your mental health, and you've been putting in a lot of work here. There's a lot of emphasis on you have been working on yourself, and that you have been putting a lot of energy back onto yourself. And I'm already seeing some very similar themes with pile 2, which is kind of weird for this reading. So if it resonates with you to watch the pile 2 reading, if you feel called to that, then feel free to do that. But if not, then don't feel like you need to. But it seems like you've been putting a lot of work on yourself, and you've been working on your mental health. You've been working on your mind and your thought processes. You could have had this period of feeling defeated in the past. You could have really felt like very run down. You could have dealt with a lot of mental health issues, depression, possibly. You could have ran into a situation that kind of knocked you off your feet. But you've been putting a lot of work in to get out of that. And I think that's going to be very emphasized with you. And with this Ace of Wands here, that it really indicates to me that after putting in this work towards yourself and working on your mental health, you're going to enter into this new period, this new period of like passion, and you're going, what am I trying to say? Sorry, my brain has almost stopped working at this point, but you're going to enter into this new period that's going to be exciting for you. And you might have people come to you left and right, to be completely honest, and you might have a lot of stable offers for yourself with this Four of Pentacles in the reverse, or not in the reverse, I'm so sorry, with the Four of Pentacles right here. So I feel like after you put in the work and get yourself out of this rut, get yourself out of this this bad mental space, you're going to enter into an exciting period in your life. And you're going to notice that people are offering you stability. They're offering you things. So you might decide that you want to start dating, and you might have a lot of different options come in where people, or a lot of good matches are coming in, and they're wanting to offer you something they're wanting to offer you stability, and they're wanting to offer you some really good things in your life. And they're wanting to maybe take you out on nice dinners and take you on these like exquisite little things, but on trips or dates or whatever. Sorry, my brain is I've already done 2 readings, so I'm like so tired, or I'm about to get there. But anyway, but yeah, you're entering into this really new exciting period where you're going to have people left and right offering you these really cool things. They're going to offer you these really cool offers and dates and trips and all this really cool stuff. And you might feel a little bit overwhelmed, but it's going to be a very exciting time, because it's like you've put in this work, and you've put in this you've put in the energy towards yourself, and you've put in the work. You've overcome your mental challenges, your mental blocks, and it's like, and now you're into this new period of excitement and success and stability and security, and people are wanting your attention. They're wanting to offer you something. But with this Devil card in reverse here, there might be someone from your past that comes back around. Sorry, right when I said that, my cat Aries just went like meow. Like, he confirmed it, guys. He definitely confirmed that if you didn't hear him. But yeah, I feel like someone from your past could come back around. Now, this could be a toxic person. You may not have even dated them in the past. This is a general reading, therefore it's going to resonate differently for different people. But I feel like you are really going to, like, this person might come back around, whether it was an ex or a past situationship or some person you dated in the past. But there's a lot of toxic energy that surrounds this person, though. And if it doesn't represent a person, it could represent a toxic mentality. So on one end, like in one case scenario, if you had been working on your mental health and been working on your bad habits, your bad traits, and stuff like that, there could be indication that you might falter a little bit and maybe go back to that. But it could also be an indication that someone toxic might come back into your life, and you might have to deal with that a little bit. And I kind of feel like it could have to do with the person, though. Even though it can resonate differently with everyone, I feel like it could have to do with the person, just because of all the other cards that are around it. But I feel like one of the people who is going to be trying to offer you something, if it is a person that this resonates as, is going to be someone from your past that may have been very toxic and might still be very toxic. But you might feel a little bit bound to them for some reason. You might feel like this might be a karmic person. This might be a karmic person that you have dealt with in the past, and you just, there's just something about them that kind of still rings a bell within you. And I think all of us have been in those kind of situations before, where there's like that one person that you know is not good for you, but for some reason they just kind of pull a heartstring a little bit whenever they're in your life. I know that I've dealt with a few people like that, but I feel like this person is one of those types of people for you. So even though they might be karmic, and even though they might not be a good fit for your life, you're still kind of like, maybe, you know what I mean? But with the world in reverse here, I do feel like you either, it honestly depends on the person watching this reading and what they decide. So everyone's going to make a different decision. So on one hand, it could represent that you might decide to go back to this person and not close out that cycle. Or it could represent that you might make the decision to close out that cycle. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to give my personal opinion when I feel necessary. And I do feel like you should close out this cycle or this chapter with whoever this is, because there just seems to be a lot of toxicity that surrounds it, and I don't think there are going to be any good things that come from it. But with the world in reverse here, I do feel like you need to close out this cycle. Now, if you decide you don't want to do that, it's your life. That's your decision. It's what you feel is best. But I do feel like it might be a good idea to do that. So, Aries, come on. Thank you. And that was the Aries I've referred to a few times here. But anyway, so I do feel like it's going to be important for you to close out the cycle, and I think this is going to be on your mind a lot with this Four of Swords here. It's something you're going to be meditating on, contemplating about, and you might be trying to make a decision about what you should do. I think this is going to weigh heavily on your mind, because on one hand you might feel like, oh, maybe I should give this person another chance, but on the other hand you might be like, they might not be the best for me, and you might know that they're not the best for you, and you could have these other really stable offers that you should consider as well. But I think this is going to weigh heavily on your mind, but I would recommend that you close out this cycle, you close out this chapter with whatever toxic person comes back around. But I think you'll kind of come to that conclusion yourself as well. With the cards down here, you got the heart of the matter. There is more going on than meets the eye. So I kind of take it, for some reason in my brain, it's kind of sticking out to me as like warning. Like I'm kind of seeing like the flashing warning sign, if you know what I'm talking about. But I kind of take it as a warning. So on the outside, if this person comes back around, it might seem like, oh, this is like, they might kind of give off this illusion of, I've changed, and things might look really good on the outside, and things might look very appealing, and better than they were in the past if this is a past situationship or whatever, or relationship. But there's more going on. I think this card is definitely more of a warning, as in you, like, this, even though things might look good on the outside, there's way more going on underneath the surface that you should be wary of. Now, with the be willing to express love card, express love to receive love, I do think, like, I don't think this applies to this person at all. I just get really bad vibes from whoever this person is. But I think it's kind of I think it's sort of an indication of, I think it has more to do with these offers here, if that makes any sense. So the warning card, like this card, the heart of the matter, more going on that meets the eye, I think it applies to this toxic person as a warning. But with express love to receive love, be willing to express love, I think it has more to do with this group. So these options that are coming into your life. Because I feel like when this toxic person comes back into your life, you might be, or this karmic person, they might be debating about whether or not they might be on your mind a lot. So even though you might meet some people that you really like, or you might meet someone that you actually really like, this toxic person might be on your mind a lot. And I think this is Spirit's way of saying, okay, even though you might be thinking a lot about this person that's maybe not the best for you, don't neglect these potential people who might actually be good for you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what it's saying more. And I honestly think you're going to come to that realization by yourself, because it seems like you've already done a lot of the work, and that you've already put forth a lot of effort. You already put in a lot of work towards yourself. And I think you really do know what you want, and you understand what kind of people you want in your life. It's more of just you just need to kind of remind yourself of the conclusions that you've come to. Now, with you're very close to achieving your goal, gibbous moon, I think that's an indication of so I do think what I'm hearing is that you're dealing with a karmic lesson, or, okay, how do I put this? So whenever we go through karmic situations, like karmic partners, or karmic lessons, oftentimes the universe will put that same lesson into our lives until we learn it officially. So I kind of feel like your next love situation, it might be kind of a cycle of the universe like making sure that you've actually learned your lesson, which is why this karmic person is coming back into your life. So I think once you actually overcome this and decide, no, I'm closing out this chapter, that you're going to achieve your goal. Like, you're going to start manifesting the people that are actually meant to serve you. You're actually going to manifest love potentials into your life who are better for you. So I feel like the universe might be kind of testing you right now, or the universe will be testing you when it comes to love, just to make sure that you're not accepting less than deserving people into your life. Not saying no one's deserving of love, but you don't have to accept people back into your life if they have hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Now, but I do feel like you are being tested right now. And you can make whatever decision you want to. I've said that before. So if you want to get back with this person, then that is all up to you. If you think that's the right decision, that's all up to you. You have your own free will. But I would just recommend that you close out this chapter, because I do think that you're being tested, and this is kind of a hammer on the nail sort of situation. Like, you need to learn this, you know? But yeah, I do feel like you're being tested. With the service card, I feel good when I can help others. I feel like, so when I see this card, I'm not really taking it literally. I'm taking it more, my first thought was more astrological. The sixth house in particular, which can represent service and health and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of indication. So that was my first thought, and oftentimes I will read the cards intuitively, but I kind of get the impression that there is going to be a lot of focus on the area of your sixth house, which, like I said, it means service and health and stuff like that. So a lot of emphasis on working on your mental health. And I think that working on your mental health is going to really help you to gain more confidence and be able to make the best decisions for yourself. And with the surrender card here, I can release my need to control. I do feel like maybe with, okay, so there's this thing that a lot of people with anxiety will go through. I myself go through anxiety. A lot of my friends do. But oftentimes people with anxiety, not saying everyone, but a lot of the time, for some people, some of the time, people will choose to keep those who are maybe not the best for them in their lives just because they're comfortable, and it's almost like they know what to expect, you know? And it's almost scarier to enter into this new chapter where you don't know what to expect. And I feel like maybe in the past with this person, you could have stuck around for longer than you should have because you were comfortable. And you wanted to keep the control in your life. Like, you wanted to keep things in your life, something that, like, in a way that you could still expect, and that you could be comfortable with. But with the surrender card here, I can release my need to control. I think you're allowing the universe to just make things play out the way that they're meant to. So I think that you're really releasing that control, and you're allowing yourself to be like, okay, even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, even if I have to kind of go through the process of getting to know people again, even though I already know this person, I know I'm comfortable with them, you might be like, okay, just because I want to feel like I'm in control doesn't mean that it's ultimately what's going to be best for me. So I feel like with your next love situation, you're going to be deciding, hey, I am just going to let things play out the way that they're meant to play out. I'm going to continue helping myself and being good to other people. Also, the service card could talk about your connection with these people here with the Four of Pentacles. So, and it doesn't necessarily have to be people. It could also just be another person. It's going to resonate differently with everyone. But I do feel like I think it's also like definitely a reminder, like with this be willing to express love thing, that you still need to put effort towards this Four of Pentacles person. That you still need, that even though there's this devil person, you need to make sure you're not completely disregarding this person, because I feel like this Four of Pentacles person might bring a lot of stability into your life, but you might be kind of at a back and forth, or it could be people or person. It's going to resonate differently with everyone, but I feel like you're going to be, like, don't neglect this person or these people just for this person who might not be everything that you've wished for in the long run. So I feel like I feel like it's kind of a indication that you need to understand that, and that you need to still put forth effort towards this person or these people, and that you need to allow things to flow the way that they're meant to. So even though you might be comfortable with this person, it doesn't mean that's going to necessarily be a good thing. So just allow things to flow in the way that they're meant to. Which I know probably sounds really confusing, but I honestly think that you kind of have, like I said before, you are being tested, so you kind of have to come to a lot of conclusions by yourself, if that makes any sense. But yeah, for the advice card, you got bewilderment. In today's frenetic world, it's not uncommon to be left feeling a little bewildered by a strange new encounter, unexpected outcome, or surprising discovery. Trust that you have gained the needed experience to be able to ride any waves that rock your boat. Remind yourself to pause occasionally when life seems to be asking a lot of you, and just breathe and relax. You've got this. So, yeah, I think this is definitely a confirmation of someone unexpectedly coming back into your life, and you maybe being like, oh my gosh, this is super crazy. I was not expecting this. This is super shocking, and I do not know how to feel about this. But I think that I think it's just like definitely an indication that yes, that is happening, but also that you have learned all that you need to be able to make the right decision for yourself. Sorry guys, I randomly cut off, but I feel like you're going to be using the lessons that you have taken for yourself and that you've learned for yourself, and you're going to be really applying them to this situation and making your decision. And everyone's going to make a different decision, but you're going to use your wisdom, or use the wisdom that you've accumulated to make that decision, even if it might be a little bit surprising or a little bit unexpected. So I feel like you've got this. I think you're going to ultimately understand what decision you need to make. You just have to understand that you're being tested and that you need to make the decision that's best for you. But like I said before, I think you will understand that. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching this video. It may resonate for you right now, or it may not. But if it resonates for you, or if you like this video, click like, share, subscribe, comment, all of the above. That will mean the absolute world to me, because this is a new channel, and I hope to see you next time. Bye guys.